Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.
Visit elmhurst.org to explore the new City of Elmhurst website. Find out the latest Elmhurst news, pay utility bills and parking tickets, report concerns, and much more. Elmhurst.org is an ideal way to discover what Elmhurst offers your business, your family, your life.
Welcome to Lexington Square Senior Residence. We are a continuing care retirement community located at 400 West Butterfield Road. And on our campus we have independent living, assisted living, a memory wing, rehabilitation, and a skilled nursing home. I'm Jerry Koppel, Community Outreach Director, and we're glad you've come here today to join us for our healthy cooking show. Now you may know that a Mediterranean diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, olive oil, legumes, and whole grains, and fish, offers heart-healthy benefits. But a Mediterranean diet may also benefit your brain. Studies show that people who closely follow a Mediterranean diet seem less likely to develop cognitive decline when compared with people who do not follow a Mediterranean diet. Research shows that a Mediterranean diet may slow cognitive decline in older adults, reduce the risk of mild cognitive impairment, as well as reduce the risk of the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Now, it's unclear why following a Mediterranean diet may protect brain function, but researchers speculate that making healthy food choices may improve your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and overall blood vessel health. All factors that may reduce the risk of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. So looking at more than 2,000 dementia-free adults ages 65 and older, researchers revealed that persons who consume a Mediterranean diet regularly were 38% less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease over the next 4 years. Now, this is according to Dr. Nicholas Garmias of Columbia University in New York, and the findings were published online in the Journal Archives of Neurology. The dietary pattern is characterized not only by eating more olive oil, nuts, tomatoes, fish, fruits, and dark and green leafy vegetables, but also eating less quantities of red meat, organ meat, butter, and high-fat dairy products. So join me now in the Lexington Square Activities Kitchen and meet Chef Brianne, as she is ready to show us how easy it is to adapt to a healthy Mediterranean diet. So Brianne, tell me, what are you going to cook for us today?
A village salad to start out with. We also have a cold marinated vegetable salad.
Sounds good.
We're going to go over how to make a quick version of a Greek yogurt. Also, we are going to do a pan-seared salmon. And we also have a tzatziki sauce that we're going to use as a sauce for our salmon.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to get out of your way and you can get started.
Excellent.
Thanks, Brianne.
First off, one of you ladies wants to pass some of this out. We have steeped olive oil. Olive oil is, like she said, part of the main staple of the Mediterranean diet. It's the main fat that they use. It's very healthy. If you look for an olive oil, you want to look for first cold-pressed olive oil. Has the most nutrient benefits to it. While she's doing that, we're going to start our yogurt up. I did some last night. I wanted you guys to see that when you drain it, the whey comes off the yogurt. And the whey you can use for a lot of different things. It has a lot of nutrient properties for hair and nails. Also, we actually used it to make some of our whipped feta spread that's over here. We added a little back so that we can get the moisture back into it, along with a little bit of our yogurt. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a coffee filter and line a fine strainer, put it over a large bowl so that it can drain. It's best to do it overnight. That way you can get as much out of there as possible. And when you're done, it's a very firm, dry looking yogurt. It's going to actually come out looking kind of like this, where it's almost like a soft cheese. And that actually we're going to use a little bit later. First thing we're going to do today is our village salad. In there, we're going to use fresh tomatoes, fresh cucumbers, red onions, and it's got a light dressing with some feta cheese. We're going to slice a cucumber in half and then cut some half moons out of it. Tomato we're going to cut into eighths. Cut the cores out as we go along. And we're also going to julienne some red onion in there. And then we're going to toss that into some that I already have prepared. And the last thing we're going to add on top is our feta cheese. You're going to use about half a block or a thin full block. And if you could like, you can also add some Kalamata olives. It just adds a lot more salt that way because there's plenty of salt in the feta cheese. And then we have a dressing that's consistent of red wine vinegar, olive oil, fresh oregano, a little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. That I made ahead of time. It's easy to make it in a small container so you can just shake it up and it can sit when you're ready to use it. That's going to get tossed into our salad, our cucumber and tomato and red onion mixture with the feta cheese. And I'm going to give you guys a chance to take a look at what that looks like once we're done here. And if you need to, you can check it for seasonings at the end. See if you need to add any more salt, pepper. If you'd like extra garlic powder, you can do that as well. It's kind of a nice, colorful salad. Looks like that. You want kind of a nice proportion of tomatoes, cucumbers, and cheese, and red onions. Next thing we're going to roll into is our cold roasted vegetable salad. Now this you kind of need to prep a little bit ahead of time. Doing it a day ahead is pretty good. That way you can have the veggies cold and already grilled. The next day all you have to do is cut them up and toss them in some dressing. So for that, you want a shallow pan, kind of like this one, or any baking dish. You're going to use that to marinate your ingredients. Need more counter space. You're going to cut up some peppers. I like to use a bunch of different colors. That way this is what's going to give the color to your salad. You're going to cut them in eighths, so you have some nice big chunks so they don't fall through the grill. It's a lot easier that way. Zucchini and yellow squash we're going to use over here. You can also get some red onion in here too. You want to cut them into like halves if they're small, or into thirds if they're a little bit bigger. Like I said, that way they don't fall through your grill, and also they don't get too soft too quickly. Lay them in a pan, the cut sides up. You're going to drizzle on some balsamic vinegar. And some salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then if you don't have a grill that you can use or a grill pan, you can put your broiler on, and you can just give them a little color under your broiler. And then a little bit of olive oil so they don't stick. So luckily in here we have a broiler, so we're going to stick them under the broiler. And while those are cooking, we actually have some that I already cooked. So that I can give you guys a chance to see what they look like. And then you want to cut them into a little bit bigger of a piece, so there's a little substance to them. We have some peppers, yellow squash, zucchini. I have some asparagus here, and some red onion as well. So you're just going to want to chop it into a little bit bigger of a piece, kind of like something along this size. Those get tossed in the bowl. Same with peppers, a little bit bigger. Asparagus, probably about 3 or 4 cuts per asparagus, depending on how long they are. And zucchini and yellow squash. And then if you need to, add more dressing. You can put a little bit more balsamic, a little more olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So we're going to do some of that. And when we pick all the different colors too, another thing we're doing is we're picking a lot of different vitamins and minerals and nutrients in each of the different veggies. It's kind of nice nature color-coded it for us, so you know, the bigger the rainbow you eat, the better off you are. And then you'll just want to toss that and kind of let it sit for a while before you serve it. Gets better once it soaks up some of that dressing. And that's another thing you're going to want to taste it as well. And you can also serve it on top of some mixed greens if you'd like to do it as like a full salad. So that way you see all the different colors in there. It's kind of nice that way. Next, what are we rolling it to? Next, we're going to do our tzatziki sauce. This one's kind of nice because you can use tzatziki in a lot of different ways. You can use it as a salad dressing. You can use it as a sandwich spread. You can dip vegetables in it. It's pretty versatile. And it's got a base in the Greek yogurt that we started before.
Cook them on the grill.
Get my grill out. I'll have to work on charcoal.
You can do it on charcoal. You really just have to kind of look at them and see if they're starting to get tender in the center. You don't want it to get squishy because then they fall apart in the salad. You kind of want them to be still a little bit firm, so like maybe cooked a third on each side. Take them off the grill, let them sit, room temperature for a little bit, and they'll keep cooking as they're sitting there. But you don't want to cook them all the way through because then, especially the yellow squash, because there's so many seeds in the center, that does get very wilty. So that you want to keep some substance to it.
You put it directly on the grill?
Yep, right on the grill grates. We're going to start with our tzatziki sauce. It's really easy, like I said. It's got multiple uses: sandwich spreads, vegetable dips, things like that. We're going to peel a cucumber. I like it better peeled. You could leave like half the skin on if you wanted. Next we're going to get a grater and we're going to grate the cucumber. And you want all the liquid in there from the cucumber because you did take a lot of the liquid out of the yogurt when you strained it. So you kind of need the extra liquid so it's a little bit thinner. To that we're going to add the yogurt that we strained over here, right in the beginning. And it comes right out of the coffee filter pretty easily. We're going to add in some salt, just a tiny bit for the cucumbers. You don't want to add too much salt, and using sea salt is actually the best thing you can do. A little bit of white pepper. A little bit of garlic powder, and some fresh chopped dill. I like to use a lot of it. I'm going to stir that up. And it's actually as simple as that. And then we're going to use this a little bit later when we do our salmon. Next, we're going to roll into our salmon. I have a plain piece of salmon here. You can go have them cut it for you. The skin side, you'll see, has a little bit of like a grayish color to it, a little bit of white. Those are actually all those omegas that they're always talking about that are good for your heart and your brain. That's where those are, actually, a lot of them. You're going to cook that. You're going to cook the fish the inside down first, so the skin side will be up facing you first. It's a little bit easier that way. First off, we're going to get our pan nice and hot. The hotter the pan, the less oil you have to use. Get that nice and hot over there. And then you can either cook it completely in the pan on top. You just have to make sure you cook all 4 sides, including the 2 sides like this. This one right here, and this one right here. So that you get it cooked all the way through, and depending on if you want to eat it medium rare or medium, you'll use a little less time. Also, adjusting the temperature while you're cooking it is going to help you too, so that you don't burn one side and the other side's not as cooked. So. Have a little bit of extra virgin olive oil here. We're going to put a little bit in the bottom of the pan once it gets nice and hot, and you'll see it almost will start to smoke. That's when you want to put your fish in, when it's nice and hot like that. So it's almost there. So we're going to add a little bit of olive oil. Kind of want to move it around a little bit because you don't want your fish to stick either. And then you can see it's starting to smoke a little bit here. You want to put the fish in. Again, you want that skin side up. Let it cook for about 3 minutes on each side if you want to pan sear it, and cook it that way completely on the top of the oven. However, if you'd like to cook it in the oven, you can just sear the outside, the top, and the bottom side. Put it on a sheet pan, put a little salt and pepper, and throw it in a 350 to 400 degree oven, depending on what else you're cooking. And you're going to see the proteins kind of start to coagulate on the sides. It'll start to get a little white, and it'll kind of climb up the sides. So that'll give you a good idea of when to flip it. Also, you want to make sure that you don't flip it too soon. One way that you can figure that out is if it's still sticking a little to the pan, that means it's not ready to flip yet. Give it another couple seconds. So mine's coming right off. So we're going to slide that right over. Flip it in the pan. Get a nice color on it. There you go, so all of you can see. Some nice color on the top. You can just put it in the oven. You're not going to have that nice color on the top of it. It's for visual appearance, and it's also to kind of help you keep some of that moisture in on the fish. We're going to grab one of our plates. Then we have some tzatziki sauce that's been sitting all day, so the flavors all get a chance to kind of macerate and mix together. Yep. Nope, you don't have to flip it halfway through in the oven.
And how long do you leave it in the oven?
It depends on the size of the piece of salmon. Usually about 7 or 8 minutes, something along those lines.
What temp do you put it on?
It depends on if you have other things to cook. You could cook it anywhere from 350 to 450. Yep, it's kind of one of those easy things. And then, see that? We just used our sauce, our tzatziki sauce that we made, as a sauce for our salmon, and it's nice and healthy. It's low-fat yogurt, cucumbers, fresh herbs. And then also, since we kind of didn't think of dessert, I figured we would show you something we can do with some Greek yogurt that you can use as a healthy dessert. So I'm going to take some of the remaining yogurt that we have over here from earlier. We're going to put a little bit in the bowl here. And then we're going to sprinkle on some walnuts and drizzle some honey. Thanks. Thank you. So we'll just drizzle on a little bit of honey there for a little bit of sweet. And we have some fresh walnuts over here. We'll chop them up a little bit. And sprinkle those right on top. And that's actually a really great healthy dessert. Walnuts are really good for you. And you can eat that just like that. Does anyone have any questions?
You mentioned that the salmon didn't need to be cooked all the way necessarily.
Nope.
That's a myth that fish needs to be cooked till it's
Dead. Yeah, absolutely. You can eat salmon, especially you can do, if you go to a sushi restaurant where they have the sushi grade fish, you can eat that completely raw. Salmon, tuna. What else have I eaten raw? I'm trying to think. There's even halibut, things like that. You can eat them raw. They just have to be properly stored and cared for as soon as they're caught. and properly cleaned and things like that, because that's when you do encounter the bacteria problems. If you want, you can cook salmon. A nice salmon is a medium rare, kind of just like a nice steak.
The Elmhurst Historical Museum, located in downtown Elmhurst, is proud to present award-winning exhibits for visitors of all ages. Our Adult Tea Time Talk series, family programs, and special events make learning about history interesting and fun. Admission is free, and on-site parking is available. Visit the Elmhurst Historical Museum soon. Call us today, or go to our website for the latest program details.
Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.